Hello, Lion Bolt Kingdom. I'm getting over a bad cold, so excuse me if my voice is still a little rough. So this video is pretty overdue. If you've been with me for a while, you'll remember that my videos didn't always look quite like this. I used to use still images for my mascot character as a PNG tuber, like this.
It is a new year, and I thought now would be a great opportunity to look back on what I've learned after my first year doing Artist Alley at conventions, the lessons that any aspiring artists out there might find useful, and what I can draw from as I work to improve in 2023.
Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, I missed some of the expressiveness that I was able to do, like some of the different expressions, but I do think my video quality has improved quite a bit since January. Anyway, that process proved to be very time-consuming, and so I endeavored to find a better solution, and that solution was the Live2D model you see me use today. In this video, I'll talk about what a Live2D model really is, and about the process of teaching myself how to build it, as well as the other applications Live2D software can be used for. If you're new here, I'm Lion Bolt, digital artist, animator, and author of the YA, urban fantasy, and mystery novel series Detective King. You can learn more about that in the description. So what is Live2D and how does it work? Live2D Cubism is a Japanese software that renders real-time animation based off my movements and facial expressions. Essentially motion capture, but without the need for a full 3D model. It works with the Unity engine, which is the same thing many video games are built with. There is a free version, while Pro has yearly subscriptions at about $100, though there is a free trial. For those who don't know, I hold a degree in animation with a minor in game design, so the way the software works isn't so foreign to me, which is what sort of propelled me to try my hand at building a Live2D model myself. Live2D is very commonly used by virtual YouTubers or VTubers, just like I'm using mine now. The way it works is the model syncs up to the camera on my computer, and my computer tracks my movements using a software called VTube Studio, which is free on Steam. I then record with OBS screen capture software running. Lately, I've done it with a green background behind my Live2D model, so I can replace it with whatever I need later, just like a green screen in live action. I've also been using a free online teleprompter running as I speak in a minimized window, because I'm not great on scripted. How does one make a Live2D model? I learned most of what I need to do through Live2D's helpful tutorials on their website and through YouTube, and if there's interest, I'd be willing to make a more in-depth video. But for now, I'll just go over the basic steps and concepts. So I started out in Clip Studio Paint, my drawing program of choice, and essentially all the model is a drawing of my mascot with the different components and body parts, each on different layers that can be moved separately. I made sure to include extra color fill in areas like the forehead and neck, so that the parts in front of those areas can move around and still have color underneath them. I also made some extra stuff like emotion marks, which I'm still working on. Next, I started working in the Live2D editor. Each individual piece of the model is given its own editable mesh and are grouped into deformers. Basically, it just means I can move the pieces of the model around, squishing and stretching as needed to get the illusion of 3D movement from a 2D model. I set those movements into what are called keyframes. Keyframes are a basic component in animation, the important poses that make up whatever movement you're animating, which then gets strung together with in-between drawings, or in this case the model does whatever movement it needs to get from one keyframe to the next, which we can then tweak and ultimately control through the sliders in the editor. Once all of the movements were set, from turning my head to blinking to mouth movements, I could then export and use the model in VTube Studio, making adjustments as needed based on how the model acted. Live2D also has an animation feature, which lets me set keyframes to be recorded into preset movements that I can then use at the press of a button like this. I haven't made much use of this yet, but I'd like to much more in the future. Because of that feature, Live2D can be a great tool for animation. It's already been used for those purposes by a number of video games, and Live2D has a really cute animated short that demonstrates its capabilities. An important concept in animation is rigging. In 3D animation, that means building a 3D model and basically giving that model a skeleton that allows you to move the model around, which you then apply keyframes to in order to animate. With Live2D and a number of other programs like Toon Boom Harmony, Adobe Animate, and even After Effects let you do, is create a 2D rig, where you can keyframe the various pieces of the 2D character without having to draw every frame individually, like I did in Color Thief. Not only is this faster and easier, but it makes the animation more consistent. Most cartoons use this method. There will be, of course, situations where new drawings are required, and there is something to hand-drawn animation that is important and should continue to be practiced. But I am excited to get more experience working with 2D rigs and testing the limits of what I can do with them. I think Live2D is a tool that I can use toward that end, and because Harmony is very expensive. So I think making the Live2D model has made video making a lot easier for me and improved the look of my videos. I don't know if it makes me a VTuber or not, but if you want to call me that, I'm cool with it. I will definitely continue to make adjustments, and especially want to add more animations to the model to make it more expressive. So hopefully you'll see more of that in the near future, and perhaps I'll use Live2D to jump back into animation as well. I haven't really animated anything since the Detective King trailer, but I want to get back into it, and 2D rigging will have to be the way to go. I'll post updates whenever I get a chance to work on that. So what are your thoughts on the model? Do you have any questions about how it all works, or suggestions on how to improve my videos? I'd love to hear your comments you guys have. And as always, likes and new subscribers are greatly appreciated. Until next time.